And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to November 7 Delta Romeo. My name is David, and I am a student pilot. And we are in Orlando, Florida, flying this Bonanza November 7 Delta Romeo. I'm in X-Plane 11 today, and just do some flying today, and it's been a while since I've actually been out flying on Microsoft or on the X-Plane. So I have right now, this is True Earth, Florida. As you can see, it looks amazing. Nothing like Microsoft, but again, it still looks amazing in perspective in regarding to what we used to fly and what we fly now. So I'm just gonna go up the coast, take it for a flight. Looks like Vatsim is not open in Florida, so we're just gonna file VFR and leave out of Orlando here, Class B Bravo airspace, and go for a flight. Welcome aboard. That is kind of loud in my ears. We're about Orlando. Let's head towards Palm Beach. All right, you guys can see that. See how much this can take on there. Open up the Sim Toolkit real quick and see if I can get everything situated here. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Alright, so flight planning. We're in Orlando. Let's say we're doing Palm Beach. Alright, so it's opening up our flight plan so we can get everything started. I know I'm doing VFR, but I like to have all my weather and everything in here anyway, so. Alright, Navigraph is set up. I use it for the charts. Even though I'm flying VFR, I like to use it. Always good practice. So we're at the airport right now, right by the West Fire Station by Echo. And it looks like the weather, we'll just go back here. See what the weather looks like. And the weather out of Orlando is 150 at 10. Scattered at 43. Broken at 7,000. Broken at 250. 2.3323. 29903. 299 3 times 1. Go. And there we have times 2. I will do that. Make sure we're at 4,500. We are going to be climbing. Save it at 8 for right now. Alright, let's just check out a little bit more for Orlando. And let me just add a Vatsim flight plan here, just to have it on board there. It's always good to still file even though we're doing VFR. Let's go to 5,500 because I want to go eastbound. A little higher there. VFR flight plan. Oh, we're doing good there. See what the information is for MCO. 18 left. All right, we're going to be flying out of 18 left, so we'll just take Alpha all the way down, and we are squawking VFR. And here we go. Not too much prep. I just wanted to do a flight today. I haven't been on probably good 15 days or so. Sometimes you may have to take a little break. But here we are. We're going to... Hey, Jerome, how are you, sir? Here we are in Orlando. We're going to take off at this airport. And head towards Palm Beach. We just file one more thing with the flight plan and we'll be ready to go. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. I don't know why I can't get this open here. All right, let's go here and get this flight on the way. And Orlando traffic, Bonanza, November 7 Delta Romeo on the west side by Alpha, taxiing to 18 left for a VFR south departure, Orlando traffic. All right, so we're on here, brakes off. Doesn't seem like anyone else is on. There's Orlando. And we'll just take it up here and taxi. Nice to be in Orlando again. Hope everyone's having a good weekend with all this stuff going on in the world. Sometimes it's good to relax and enjoy something that you like to do, which in my case, I love flying. Little off center line. Wasn't paying attention as I'm still looking for program that I was doing before we take off, but here we're on Alpha. We could go all the way to the end, but we have plenty of room here to do an intersection departure, and I believe that's what we're going to do. Give me enough time to see if I can find what I was looking for here. Here we're in Alpha. We're going to be taking off at runway 18 right, and we're going to be making a right turn here on Juliet. Do an intersection departure. We do not have Vatsim on tonight or today. They were on earlier, but it gives me enough time here to just to look real quick.
Percent 42.0 object.
All right. Sit here. Lights are on and everything. Let's just check one more thing. And refresh here. Alright, so we're going to use this as a GTN 750. That's what I'm using right here. I put it up on the screen so you could see it. It's sometimes too hard to see it from when we start taking off. So that's why I like to put it on the side here. I know it obstructs the view a little bit, but at least you can see where we're flying. We are headed out towards Palm Beach International, and Orlando is around 12,500, I believe it is, for the length on here, but we're not going to need all that. Upon departure, we're going to be flying southbound here on 18 right, heading south, and upon rotation VR speed, if we have an engine out before VR, we were going to put the plane back on the ground and apply full braking. If we are past VR and we are already doing our climb out, we are going to turn back around or land safely 30 degrees left or right and try to bring her down. If we are above 3,000 and we have enough time to bring her back to the airport or any closest airport for us to land safely for the emergency, we will do so. So we've been we're prepped for our departure here, VFR, and we're going to be going at 5,500 feet with no Vatsim today. All right, we're all set to go. And Orlando traffic. Bonanza 7 Delta Romeo at Juliet intersection departure, departing on 18 right, VFR departure to the south, Orlando traffic. So we just look again, there's no one there and no one there, and I'm looking at Vatsim and no one's talking on Vatsim at all, so that's good. Hey Kevin, how are you, sir?
Runway 18.
All right, here we go.
Flaps.
And power set. Everything's still in the green. Airspeed's alive. Check ×2. Holding center line here. VR rotate. Right, runway is at the end there. And landing gears up, and we continue climbing here. I still think the scenery here for Orlando for X-Plane 11 True Earth Florida looks good. So we'll continue this climb here. And again, we don't have anything, no Vatsim controller, so usually they depart us to the left. So let's just keep on climbing out. Autopilot 5500. We're set at 700 or 800 feet per minute heading, and I'm just going to keep this heading just a little bit more while we climb out. And Disney will be out to the west. You see here, still amazing ortho for True Earth. All right, we have this set on our GPS here, so what we do is going to hit nav, and we're going to keep on climbing. Power, climb power has been set, and we are going to change our fuel tank because we have here prop, a little bit of mixture, and we're going to continue climbing here. I have it at 800, but we're going to continue to 5500 here. We're going to be right at 1615 on the climb. I'm having problems with I don't know why I can't see my my information that I had. If you guys have any questions or anything, please let me know. Welcome aboard again to November 7 Delta Romeo. We're flying in the Bonanza. If you can, we'll really appreciate if you guys follow. Climbing out at 3200 to 5500, still on the heading of 150 at this time. Ground speed is 123. Yaw dampers on. We're going to leave. There we go. Landing, taxi. I hit a button, have my nav lights on, but we don't need nav lights during the daytime. Strobes and beaconers are still on, and we are set here. And then once we climb and we set, I'll close the cowlings here. We're still doing good. We're around 900 feet per minute here climbing. I'm going to do a test message. For some reason I'm not getting messages, or like when you asked Kevin, how are you doing? Oh, this is going through. If one of you guys can, if you're still around, send me a message to see if it's actually coming through again. I would really appreciate it. Jerome, Kevin, anyone else that's on there, send me a hello or something. I want to see if this is actually working. I would really appreciate it. Oh, put our music back on after all right, 400 to go. Orlando traffic's Bonanza 7 Delta Romeo is 8 miles to the south, departing southbound along the East Coast. Orlando traffic, have a good day. See ya.
Shop online at the Google Store to get the latest home tech by Google. Hey Google, play some music. Visit googlestore.com.
In the last 30 years, ExpressTags.com has made and shipped over 500 million tags, and our customers keep coming back for our quality, our low prices, and our outstanding customer service.
Whether you're looking for a simple manila tag, a pre-printed fire extinguisher tag, or a custom-designed plastic tag, you've come to the right place. We've got dozens of materials and thousands of stock designs to choose from. Or design your own tag. We make it simple. Either use one of our templates or upload your artwork. Even hand draw your design, and our team will work with you until it's perfect. This design service is always free of charge. And speaking of free, shipping is free for any order over $7.95. At Express Tags, we use only the highest quality.
All right, we keep on going through the climb here. We're at straight level of 5,500 and still don't have anyone for ATC, but that's all right. All right. Still doing pretty good. I love this scenery still. Fuel flow at 13. We're doing as you can see here, temperatures are still good. Oil pressure, manifold pressure, and RPMs are just a little bit on there. Everything still looks good. Let's check the other side here. FO side. Nice view of November 7 Delta Romeo Bonanza. Great plane to fly. Great plane to fly. don't know if you guys, let me see. Still looks really good. We're still good on the fuel. Okay, still at 5,500. And enjoying this beautiful sight underneath November 7 Delta Romeo, the Bonanza. I still love the scenery. And I still like how X-Plane 11 and the True Earth, the planes actually do work correctly with instruments. Just checking out some other things here. Right, give me a second, guys. I'm just we're still looking pretty good in here. Everything still looks good for the scenery. Atlanta's the only one still on for Vatsim. We're 88 miles from Palm Beach. And yes, we are on X-Plane 11, and this is True Earth. I still think it still looks amazing. I know the Microsoft does look totally different in regarding to it, but we're flying X-Plane 11 today. You know, I just had someone, Ivan Del, just missed it. Rosario just liked. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard. Thank you for come on the X-Plane 11 in the Bonanza series. We are flying out of Orlando, Florida. And X-Plane 11. I tried Microsoft again today, and it crashed. I don't know what update they did the other day, but it has caused a major problem. So guess where we're at? We're back in True Earth, X-Plane 11, flying the Bonanza, VFR. There's the coast there on the east side. We should be coming. I have this up so everyone can see it. So we're just going to be passing Melbourne right here, Mike Lima Bravo, and we're headed towards Palm Beach. Over here you can see and then Palm Beach is right here. Sometimes what we usually do is cut across we skirt this right here by Pahokee Belglade and then just come across the 20-mile bend and go straight into runway 09, actually it's 10. Utah, I've been there for a long time. I used to work for TWA here in Palm Beach International Airport back in the day, and used to be 099 or left or 09 or right, and in a couple of years already they've changed it to 10 left and 10 right, so I still call it that. So we're flying on that heading. We're on nav mode right now. We're 81 miles. We're doing 156 across the ground here, and we still do not have Vatsim on. It's really early Saturday night's when everyone comes out, but I'm not going to be available to fly today, so tonight. So taking the airplane out earlier, flying. Yeah, it's terrible that I don't have ATC at this time, but I love flying, so that's the best thing about it. So we're going to continue on that. And let's just go back into the side of the view here. We still have everything still looking good. We have been at that, so we will change our fuel tanks. 78. We're under 180. So we are we're the odd flying 500 feet above. Well, welcome everyone aboard. November 7 Delta Romeo. I appreciate everyone coming out. I know it's a Saturday afternoon. Everyone usually does their flying at night, but we're going to continue our VFR flying, and this is not bad still, the clouds. I mean, we can make it a little bit to scattered. In fact, I forgot to do something else. Custom, let's make it 100-mile visibility. Alright. The scattered is still above us. Did I lose any FPS on that when I changed it? I'm at 38 strong. 38, and I am on high settings, so that's not bad. If we would have had a little bit of drop or something like that, I would have put it back down to series clouds. I think the picture quality still looks great. my books, it still looks good. So, all right, we took the FPS out of there so it doesn't keep on just flickering back and forth over there. We are just outside, and you can see right here. Should be getting up to Indian River, Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie, Martin County, all this right through here. There's Fort Pierce. And there's Stewart Airport. And by the way, Stewart Airport has a great air show. A great air show. In November, right on my birthday. But that's pretty good. See if I can find something here. Yeah, I can't find that. Still looking good. Should be right around where we're supposed to be. 150. Yeah, it's dead on. See what we have on here for some training. I thought I had some things here for training. That just came out from some ATC work. I think Clear Approach had something here. I don't know if you guys ever seen it or not.
made me wonder why he thought that he had to stay at a particular altitude and couldn't climb above these mountains. And then it dawned on me the reason why. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's talk about what happened, why it happened, and what information you need to know in order to ensure that this doesn't happen to you. My name is William. Welcome to Cleared Approach.
If you guys haven't followed Clear Approach on Twitch, he does ATC, and there's sometimes that pilots ask questions.
To the channel where we talk about flight sim.
They ask questions about clearance. He has a lot of things on YouTube, but since we have some time, this is something that came up the other day regarding someone leaving out of Charlotte, and he got clearance. So I'm not going to say too much, but you can hear the confusion of the pilot and what was being said. So William's going to go ahead and explain it to you.
Simulation and air traffic control procedures. My name is William, and I stream virtual air traffic control on the Vatsim network over on Twitch. You can find me down at the link below. Hit me up over there whenever I'm live. I would love to interact with you and help you along your next Vatsim flight and just get to know you in general. Come in and join us. It's a lot of fun. As always, what we're going to talk about today is for simulation purposes only, and their procedures that apply in the United States. So let's first recap what happened. I was working in Atlanta Center at the time, and I was talking to a VFR flight that was going from the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport up to the Asheville Airport. That's located in North Carolina, right at the southern edge of the Smoky Mountains, and on both the east and west side, it is covered with some pretty high terrain. On the west side, closer towards Atlanta, immediately adjacent to the airport, peaks go up almost to 3,300 feet, and then about 10 miles to the west, 4,200, and even further out to the west as high as 6,400 feet. And this particular aircraft, most of his flight, he was staying at 3,500 feet. Of course, you can kind of see a problem when you're getting close to Asheville, and you see some peaks of the mountain ranges up to, again, I said it was 3,300 feet, and even higher terrain further to the west that was above his altitude. And he called me up, and he says, "Hey, Senator, we need to climb in order to get above these mountain ranges." And I was trying to figure out why this particular individual needed, or at least thought they needed my approval to be able to climb above this terrain. And it took me a while. It baffled me as to why he was down there, and then why I inquired him about it. Come to find out, it was because of his Class Bravo clearance. His Class Bravo clearance to leave the Atlanta airport sounded something like this.
November 123 Alpha Bravo, cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace to the north, maintain VFR at or below 3,500, departure frequency 125.7, squawk 6247.
So did you catch what it was that would have enhanced some confusion for this particular pilot? Oh, by the way, this is not the first time this has happened. Of course, I'm making this video because I actually see this quite often, and that's why I wanted to discuss it today. Again, the problem they had was a misunderstanding of the Class Bravo clearance. So let's go ahead and break down that clearance, find out exactly what it means, and what you need to do to make sure you adhere to that clearance, and when you no longer need to adhere to that clearance. So because most people on the Vatsim network actually are kind of inverse from real world, where they start with IFR, I'm going to assume a little bit that you're familiar with an IFR clearance. If you're not, we're still going to cover it briefly and cover the parts, but you may be familiar with the terminology of CRAFT, which stands for Clearance, Route, Altitude, Frequency, and Transponder. And a Class Bravo clearance is going to follow this as well. You have your clearance, cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace. Route, not heavily specified because you're VFR, but it does say to the north. Altitude, in this case, maintain VFR at or below 3,500. The departure frequency 125.7, and lastly the transponder code 6247. Now what we're going to focus on here is the C for clearance and the A for altitude, which again we're cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace and to maintain VFR at or below 3,500. This is where the confusion came in. So the question becomes is, when do we no longer have to maintain an altitude below 3,500 feet? When are we allowed to climb higher? And the answer is in the clearance itself. The C for clearance specifies a clearance limit. Whenever you're being separated by air traffic control, your clearance will specify a clearance limit. It is the last point of which ATC is providing you with separation services. And in this case, cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace. the Class Bravo airspace is your clearance limit. ATC in this case will provide you with aircraft separation services while you're in the confines of the Class Bravo airspace. So once you have exited the Class Bravo airspace, you have now passed that clearance limit and you're beyond the point of which air traffic control is providing you separation services, which therefore also cancels your altitude restriction to maintain VFR, in this case at or below 3,500, unless it is restated by ATC afterwards. Now, another common problem that I see as well is they will exit the Class Bravo airspace and then they think they're okay to climb, and they ended up climbing back into the Class Bravo airspace after they've already exited. Again, this requires a secondary clearance in order to enter. So let's go ahead and see exactly what this looks like on the chart. So what we pulled up here is the Atlanta Terminal Area Chart, also known as a TAC chart. This is going to be your best resource to use if flying VFR around the Atlanta area. You can also use a sectional. It will have the same information, but because it covers a wider area, the information will be scrunched and fit into a smaller box, making it a little bit more difficult to read. Now, it's a pretty common procedure at Atlanta for them to send VFR aircraft on a due north and due south course. That way they have the ability to exit the Class Bravo airspace in its most expeditious manner. So now, since we have our Class Bravo clearance to maintain VFR at or below 3,500, we can stay in that Class Bravo airspace if we were due north for 8 miles. After that, once you clear, you can begin your climb to a higher altitude, which most likely you'll want to do if you see the Class D airspaces up to the north for both Dobbins and Peachtree in order to climb above those and avoid talking to those towers in order to work through that Class Delta airspace. However, we do want to make sure we maintain underneath the 5, 6, and 7 foot shelves of the Class Bravo airspace until we reach the 30-mile mark, which we completely clear the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace and then can climb to an altitude of our discretion while we maintain inside the Class E. So it's as simple as that. I really hope that information helps you the next time you plan your next VFR flights out of the Class Bravo airspace on the Vatsim network. Again, my name is William. I stream air traffic control services on the Vatsim network over on Twitch. Hit up that link below. We talk about flight simulation, air traffic control procedures, and just have a ton of fun over there. It's great getting to know everybody in the community, and it's so much of an enjoyment. You can also hit me up on Twitter if you find any questions that you may have that were not answered in this video, or if you have any suggestions for other videos. You can also post your comments down in the section below, and I'll be more than happy to respond to you there as well. Lastly, if I'm not immediately available, I also want to plug my Discord, because there's a ton of community members over there that if I can't answer right away, they're more than happy to help as well. If you appreciate this information and you want to see more content like this to help you along your next Vatsim flight, do me a favor and support the channel. Give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. That way you can see our next video. I really look forward to interacting with you on my next Twitch stream. Have a lot of fun over there. Thanks for watching. Cleared approach.
Excellent. Good information. A lot of people always asking in regarding to if they're going to be going inside of an airspace, especially B Bravo airspace, if they're going to be busting through an airspace or not. But I see a little bit of this. Never used to happen before. This right here. See this? Let me see. The clouds are right above us. Let's see if I can, if I move it out back to over here. Wow. Did it go back down? It sure did. I know I didn't change anything on my, not there. Graphics. Everything still looks good. Maybe I got so used to flying Microsoft. That's what happens when you start flying Microsoft. Well, here we are still. Still looking pretty good. 33 miles out from Palm Beach. Let's get the weather in Palm Beach. And we're gonna do 150, 140, 15. And let's check out Palm Beach. Oh, the winds are at a 1.4 at 10, so they do have a runway at 1.4. I think I've only landed a 1.4 when I started flying back in the days. Maybe twice. Everything has always been 10 left. Even if we had a 172, I think I've only taken off one time with a 172 out of 10 right. I have taken off one time on a King Air 90. I was sitting on the right seat, FO, and I already did my solo, and I was working, of course, for an airline. I knew someone, and it was an amazing, amazing flight down towards Miami, circled back around to the West Coast, and then came back into Palm Beach. So that was a pretty good flight in regarding to that, so I really had a good time back in those days. But as you can see again, it's not Microsoft, but True Earth still looks pretty good here on X-Plane 11, flying the November 7 Delta Romeo Bonanza. We are 27.3 miles out north of Palm Beach International Airport, VFR, 5500, and just trying to, I haven't flown in so long in real life or on the sim. I usually fly on Twitch. I've just been trying something different. Trying the Facebook stream. Not too bad. All right, let's go back in. We already have the weather. We already been briefed. We already know where we're going to do, but let's just check something out. Let's see what 1.4. I know we're doing the visual into 1.4. Let's see what 1.4. 1.4 has a GPS. Load approach. Let's just look at this. Where are we from it? As you can see, we are off. Let's see, we would have to come over here. This X58 here, there's Stewart. So for an example, there's our flight plan. Let's say we're going to go to here, hit direct, but what we need to do is, there it is right there. And then let's set this up. Let's just
Vertical track.
It's going to go right to there. All right. I haven't even opened up anything for, like if we were going to do it, I'm just, let me see what we have here. I don't think I have that open yet, but just, we got the ATIS. We have to be at 1500. All right, we'll move that back over here. We have our landing lights on. Let's just set this power back just a little bit while we descend, because we're supposed to be at 1500, if we're actually going to do this or not. But we're going to try this. 5.7. We are set. We are 5 miles. We are 5 miles to Jamal. And we're supposed to be roughly around 1500. All right, 4 miles, 800 feet per minute descend, 4.1, and this is right here is I think I already passed it. Let me see. I think we already passed it. All right, right here is not a private airport, but this is where this is Beeline Highway 706, and sometimes military airplanes land right here. I forgot the name of what they actually call it. They make airplane engines and stuff. My mind can't think right now. And then just outside of that is North County Airport right here. North County Airport, this is a grass runway right here. And then you do have approach right here. You can do ILS, RNAV. So you're outside of Charlie Airspace, which is over here. And this is where everyone comes in. It's a non-towered airport. And you come in and you can do all your flying, nighttime flying, everything that you need to do for approaches out of there. The only thing is when you leave, you have to go back to Palm Beach departure. We're still kind of high. We're at 3,400. We're supposed to be at 1,500 coming into. So technically, we're too high. But we're going to continue this. We will set power back just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, we're coming into runway 14. So what we'll do is procedures. Activate back. This. And just hit approach. First notch of flaps coming in. I do see the airport in sight. And now Ribby, we're supposed to be also at 1,500. So we're descending. We're at 2,600, around 800 feet per minute. Airport's in sight. 120. Still looks really good. And our VOR is tacked to the left there, so if we just went like this, see, direct 1-4, so there's the airport. So if we were doing back old school VOR, let's see if she holds at 1500, because we are 2 miles for the next waypoint here. And I did fail to call Palm Beach because Vatsim is not on. And Palm Beach Approach, good afternoon. Bonanza 7 Delta Romeo, actually Palm Beach traffic, Bonanza 7 Delta Romeo is approximately 8 to 10 miles out for runway 14 RNAV. Palm Beach traffic. Got mixed up there. Thinking I was talking to Approach. Alright, we're just making sure it's trying to establish on the approach here. And it's going right back up, so our here we go here in less than a quarter of a mile here. We have 5 seconds left, and if we did everything right, it should capture the glide slope. And there's the glide slope. Just a slight balloon up. Palm Beach traffic, Bonanza 7 Delta Romeo on a 3.9 final for 14 RNAV, Palm Beach traffic. Okay, 3 green, we're all set. Picture, prop, we have all our lights on for better visibility. Let's see what we can do here. Right, 293. Still looking good on autopilot. Approach. We're still looking good. Okay, my plane. Autopilot's off. Airport in sight. 3 green still. Speed looks good. Just slight little low. Alright, coming across the numbers here. They said I was low, but as you can see, I'm thinking it's road track is too high. That's just my point of view there, but we have the whole runway, center line. We did come across the numbers, and just keep it here.
5,000 feet.
And we have 5,000 feet. And we're down. Negative 34. And we're going to go across the whole entire airport here. Because we're going to the other side. If the tower's on, of course, we would have made a right turn, but let's go over here off. And we're at Gulf. Stop, clean up. Palm Beach traffic, Bonanza 7 Delta Romeo is out Golf, offer 14 Palm Beach traffic. Alright, so let's just get back into the airplane just to make sure we have everything turned off. Alright, we have landing lights off, nav lights off, strobes are off, and just to lean out while we taxi. And the only thing we have is our taxi lights and our beacon lights on, and we'll stay in that. We're not going to ground. We're on Gulf. We're going to go over here where President Trump goes. He actually goes right here to the left. Alright, so we're stop at Atlantic Aviation. Taxi light. Alright. Beacon. Battery. Off. And static and open up doors. There she is. So let's just take a look at our flight here. Now I gotta move this up here and hopefully it'll let me do it. Here's our flight that we just did. I opened this up so I can see, because we were doing VFR and I decided to shoot an approach on here. So let's see, flight planning. And we did this, and current flight, sorry. We had all of our information in here, everything that we flew, total fuel. This is where I get all my weather. TAF, same thing out of Orlando, the METARs and TAF. This is good. I love the sim tool, and you know, you can get a lot of information here. So let's go back to flight and complete the flight. It's going to ask if you had anything on here. And I usually do VFR, so just notes for myself, VFR. At first, shot a RNAV 14. Okay. This is every place I've been. I've usually fly more on the West Coast, East Coast. Flew one out of Oakland to Las Vegas, but this is where I just started doing this so I can see what I've done. But the landing report. And where is my landing report for? Did it not come in yet? I did hit, it just didn't register yet. Alright, full report here. Departure time 16:16, arrival just at in the hour. 123 nautical miles we flew. Altitude was 5,500. This is if we were going to actually divert to Tampa. There gets a T-Bird 3 and then sheds direct to Deke, and then Deke 5 arrival. 14,000. I wouldn't have gone up that high anyway, but gives you every single thing that you need. If you haven't, it's free. If you haven't gone to Sim Toolkit, I recommend it. So here it is, the landing report, and it shows you everything, your touchdown, everything that you need to know about your flight. If you're paying attention and you didn't want to look, so you know the vertical speed was 3 feet per minute. We're at 67 when we had the pitch was 5.34, and it was a good landing, really good. And this is where we landed at. You can see right here. This is across the numbers. As you can see, when we were coming in, we were at 400 and it was saying we were too low. So I think there was something wrong there, because as you can see, I landed just outside of the 100, but we had over 5,000. When I landed right here, I still had 5,000 feet to go, but it was a good landing. Liked it. See why my see, we'll go newest. It hasn't registered yet, so but that's all right. Very good flight. Enjoyed it. All right, let me just make sure I have everything else on there. So well, that was a great flight. Great to be around. And like I said, I haven't streamed in a while. And it was great to fly. So I want to thank everyone that came out for November 7 Delta Romeo for coming out and flying with me today from Orlando to Palm Beach International. Short little flight. But as always, fly safe, enjoy your time, family time, and I'll definitely see everyone back again on Twitch or on Facebook. Doesn't make a difference what it is, but I'll be back flying shortly. Everyone have a wonderful night. See ya!